Hey everybody, welcome to Lessons with Troy. I'm Troy Brenningmeyer. Well, I wanted to give you kind of a quick concept lesson here, meaning there's no tab or anything for this one. Just some of my thoughts on two things: the versatility and accessibility of playing in open D tuning. So this is a tuning I've been playing with for a while now and really been putting out quite a few lessons specifically in this tuning and also using the benders. But I wanted to talk about the accessibility first of all, and that's that because of this tuning is a slack tuning, meaning you're not putting a lot of strain on the neck. You're kind of more lowering the strings from a standard standard E tuning for a guitar, EAD, GB, E. In open D tuning, you're loosening the strings, so it's actually putting less tension on the neck, which means you could take really any guitar that you have laying around the house, or if you go out, find a guitar with really bad action, and you could, get one of those nut risers where it raises the strings up, and put that over your nut. And for not much money, you can get into playing slide guitar on your lap. This style just gets you a bar that you feel comfortable with, and/or picks if you want to play with picks. But we're talking about D, A, D from your thickest strings to F sharp, A, D, D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. Open D tuning. So it's real accessible for a lot of people without spending a lot of money, to just kind of get into it. And then you can get into different lap steels and whatnot. But, you definitely don't need to start off with an expensive lap steel if you're just wanting to try it out in this tuning. So as I've been kind of learning more and more about this tuning, I'm finding it's a really versatile tuning, and it has different sounds that I find. It has a swampy sound, kind of this real low, gritty sound on these three lower strings 6, 5, and 4, which produces a nice D power chord, D, A, D. You kind of get that sound mixed in with, you can get a real pretty sound too with lots of droning open strings. Lots of really neat chords you can get by bringing your bar back. I did some lessons on that. Taking standard, root position chords and just adding some open strings to it. Sounds real nice. B minor, C. A, G, G at 9. Now, the other thing is I started off playing dobro in open G tuning, right? GBD, GBD. And that's a tuning that puts a lot of strain on the neck of an instrument. And this goes back to the accessibility part that I was talking about, whereas open D doesn't put a lot of strain on the neck. Open G does. And sometimes guitars can't take that. They'll, things will happen. It's just pretty hard on the guitar. But the neat thing, if you learn dobro and you have those shapes and patterns in your head, in open D tuning, strings 2, 3, 4, and 5 in open D tuning is just like the same shapes for strings 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you take your dobro shapes that you've kind of been learning on these top 4 strings and you move them down, basically move everything down a string. So say, you've got, and that's what I do sometimes when I'm wanting to do some of these open string pull-offs is, you see the neck as it would look on a dobro, strings 1, 2, 3, and 4, but just move it down to strings 2, 3, 4, and 5. That nice triangle shape of 2 to 0, 1 to 0, 2 to 0, and then 4 to open fourth. All those kind of shapes, but then also you've got that root note on top. So you can always let that kind of drone out while playing stuff like that. The other thing is all those kind of bluesy shapes. I talk about the minor pentatonic shapes. I talk about the X shape a lot in dobro on your top 3 strings. We'll just move that down to strings 2, 3, and 4. Right, if we're playing in the key of D on your 12th fret, that's 12, 10, 11 for the center of the X, 12, 10. That's the X, but on top you've got a root and a flat 7. So you can add that, whereas to play that on dobro, you kind of have to slide up to get those notes. And then you've always got that nice power chord of your 3 lower strings. Right? So you've kind of got a lot of the dobro stuff. You just got to kind of play a little mind game and shift it all to strings 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? Now the other thing that I've noticed in this tuning is you get all these real beautiful C6 sounds just on strings 3 and 1. Right? But you can use slants to get nice pedal steel kind of, but definitely C6 kind of sounds. But real pretty stuff that's not so bluesy, but that you can play over like classic country or things where you're wanting to get that kind of a sound. Before even putting the benders on there, having a lap steel with benders. But once you get the benders, you can get lots of different pedal steel kind of sounds. Right, so you get the swampy sounds, you get the dobro kind of sounds, shapes and patterns, the hammer-ons and pull-offs between strings 2 and 5. Swampy. Right, all that pretty kind of open string stuff that you can get. right? And that's just playing lots of, that's really just all major scales. Once you start adjusting some scales and playing some, flat your sixth, but having that major seventh in there, you start to get some of the exotic sounds. Right, you can flip your bar, do the Rob Ickes kind of thing where he gets that sitar kind of sound. Where he's kind of putting the bar more parallel to the string. Takes some practice. Something I really need to work on. But you combine that with, the slants and getting all the real pretty kinds of sounds. And you have a lot of versatility in this tuning and a whole lot of easy accessibility to get started playing this style of an instrument, and this can kind of propel you into some other tunings. But for me, I've really been enjoying the low, gritty qualities of open D, the pretty, the swampy, the dobro kind of stuff, and then add to that the benders, getting all kinds of sounds with that. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about that and hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you on the next lesson, everybody. Thanks so much. Talk to you later.